Well, for 2 years, Sergeant Bluff residents, they've been raising some red flags about electric scooters zipping along streets, sidewalks, and trails throughout the city. And next week, city leaders could make changes to the city code. So here's what's happening here. Changes would include adding a minimum age requirement in public spaces to ride. The new age minimum range from 12 to 18 years old, depending on the type of device. Prohibiting them at the recreational complex, adding a registration component by requiring a city-issued sticker to be attached to the device, with the cost to be set at a later date. Updating the cost penalties for violations from $10 to anywhere between $25 and $250. Finally, the proposal would kind of restate those safety requirements for helmets, lights, and brakes. And so KTV's Taylor Deckert was able to speak with Sergeant Bluff leaders about why they are proposing these changes and wanting to educate the public about putting safety first.
The last thing we want is to have a really tragic accident.
Since 2004, Sergeant Bluff has had a code governing use of e-scooters, but now it's expanding due to what the city's calling a number of close calls.
And where we see kids weaving in and out of driveways, they're very low to the ground. Concern from the driving public in our residential areas. It's been a very large issue in terms of safety.
Education was the city's first line of action, but the comments and concerns continued, so several leaders decided to revamp the code.
It seems like there's a new product coming out every year, every few months, that it wasn't really covering the full aspect. The main issue is addressing safety.
These devices would be banned at the recreational complex, where a lot of close calls have been reported.
And that's where a lot of the complaints have come from, that rec area where kids are just flying through and pushing people off the sidewalks, or people having to get out of the way, had to pull their dog out of the way.
If approved, registration could be required for all personal electric vehicles used on city sidewalks, streets, or trails.
It's not we're going to be out looking and trying to check IDs for people to see how old they are. It's really more being reckless and irresponsible by the rules that are set. That's when we react.
Chief Mueller hopes that with this conversation, people call in when they see any recklessness so they can address it.
It's going to require the public to help us out there.
We don't want to see any accidents, serious injuries, fatalities. So that's really at the heart of it.
Do you think e-bikes and scooters should be regulated in your city? We have a poll right now on KTIV.com where you can share your answer. In Sergeant Bluff, Taylor Deckert, KTIV News 4.